Hey everyone, this is Chelsea. Welcome to today's video. I am actually starting out with completed artwork to show you. So I have 3 double-page spreads with the Enjoy the Ride workshop kit. I want to show you what I've made with the kit so far, and then we are going to use the leftover pieces and make another layout. I don't know about you, but I love to use up my kits and, not leave a bunch behind. I don't want to have a partial kit left. I like to use up every piece as much as I can and then move on to the next one. So that's what we're going to attempt to do today. And I thought I would show you the other ones I've made because I did change them up from what was in the workshop guide. This might look familiar to my Close to My Heart friends. This is a Close to My Heart kit that was designed by Close to My Heart, but Stampin' Up is selling it now. So you are able to purchase this kit if you are a former Close to My Heart maker or a customer, VIP. As long as your email address was on file with Close to My Heart, then you will be able to purchase this from my Stampin' Up website. I will link it down below for you. And when I checked at time of filming, this kit is still available, as well as several other pieces from this collection. If you've never seen the workshop guides before, they have the full cutting guides, shows you how to cut all the paper, and then assembly guide as well with full instructions. If there's any techniques, it gives you ideas about how to do those techniques. And I think they're such a great jumping off point, and especially if you're a beginner or you're just kind of crunched for time and you don't have time to start every layout from scratch. It's a great way to get started. I actually make these kits with my customers live on Zoom every month, and that's what we did this past week. I made this kit and I did make some changes. So I thought I would walk you through everything that I've made so far, and then you can see some of the differences between my design and the actual design from Close to My Heart. So this one I ended up changing quite a bit. You can see from this one here, there were supposed to be vertical strips, a lot different sizes, and there just wasn't enough white space for me. So what I did was I cut down my pieces to 2-inch strips, and then I have the zip strip, and instead of having them all together, I spaced them out and I put them horizontal instead of vertical. I really love horizontal lines on 2-page layouts. I just feel like it has such a good flow and really pulls your eye through the layout. I kept a lot of the die cuts with those cute little clouds. Those come in the kit as well, not in the paper pack, but in the workshop kit. And I knew I had these really cute teddy bear picnic watermelon pictures that my friend had taken of my daughter. And so I couldn't resist getting this watermelon set from Close to My Heart. This is one that they released this spring right before they closed. And it may or may not still be available on their website. I'm not sure, I haven't looked. But I love how it stamps with this gradient of color. So I stamped it in one solid color in Jade, and then just the way the stamp is designed, you get those really nice lines of the watermelon. Same here, you get those nice highlights on the watermelon piece. I used Limeade and Rosy, and then Intense Black for the seeds. And you can see I used another one over there. And another change that I did was because we had yellow mats over here, we had this yellow banner here, I felt like this side needed more yellow. So I went ahead and I matted this blue piece with a piece of honey butter cardstock that was just a 1/4 inch bigger, just to add that nice pop of yellow over there. Now the original banner that was supposed to be here said Enjoy the Ride, which would have been awesome if I had pictures of her like riding a bike or something, but none of the colors worked. So I decided to just mimic this. I traced this out with a pencil, and then I cut it out with my scissors to make this one, and then I used a white gel pen and just went around the edge. It's definitely not perfect, but it fits in really well. And then I also sponged it, actually before I did the gel pen, I sponged it with Sundance ink, which is a little bit darker of a yellow to add a little bit of texture. It's not, a big thing, but it adds a little bit of interest to it. And then for the letters, I used the Simple Serif dies from Close to My Heart, and then just some white gel pen detail. And I think that turned out really good, and it fits the theme of my layout while still keeping that same feeling. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I just need to add my journaling, and then it is finished. And then here is the second set of pages. So for this one, I actually left off some of the embellishments that they had. I also switched this banner, was supposed to be in the right corner and in the right corner, and I just moved it so that they were together. And as soon as I saw this textured floral stamp and die set from Stampin' Up, I knew that this was going to be such a nice complement to this paper. It has this watercolor look to it and a lot of texture in them, so it makes it look like it's actually been watercolored. I love this set. It also has some really great greenery dyes that I know I will get a lot of use out of. And it did end up working perfectly. The style matches with the paper really well. And you can see I've added florals to all my clusters. I love florals, and I just knew that this was going to be a good fit, so I just added those in there. I ended up switching around some of the embellishments, leaving some embellishments off, but the general page design is the same as the workshop guide. Now let's look at number 3. So this one I changed up quite a bit. There was supposed to be this really nice green cardstock or pattern paper that's exclusive to the kit in as the background of these pages, but it was just a lot with all the pattern on top of it, so I switched it out for French vanilla 12 by 12 cardstock. And then there was an orange color. You can see there this kind of orange color, and it didn't really go with my photos. I have a little bit of orange here, but not a lot, so I decided to swap it out for squares of this floral paper. This was my favorite pattern from the whole pack, so I was all game to add more of that paper. And then the green I actually used as photo mats. So here I matted all 3 of the photos together, and then over here for the 4x6s I also matted. These ones I printed them with a white border, and then for these ones I can't do 3x4s with a white border because I make them in collages, so I just cut white cardstock to make a thin white border. And I did switch around the embellishments quite a bit. I kept these tags the same, but I did add this linen thread. This is just one of my favorites so far from Stampin' Up. I love this linen thread. It's so rustic and delicate though too, and it's a great accent to so many things. I've already used a substantial amount of it, so I have a feeling this will be on my next order again. So I added some little bows onto the tags there with that thread, and then you can see I'm bringing in some of those little greenery pieces with the die cuts, more of the stamps. There was supposed to be another journaling box over here, but I already have 2 spots of journaling on here, and I don't have that much to say about these pages, so I didn't think I needed a 3rd journaling spot. So I just added in more of the stamped and die cut flowers. And I love how fresh and bright these pages are. I'm really happy with how they turned out. So now that you've seen what I made so far, this is what I have left. So I have quite a few stickers actually, because I used a lot of florals instead of the embellishments. So I have quite a bit left to work with there. I also have some of the die cut pieces. There's another sticker, and then I got lots of little pieces because I did cut that orange paper first and then decided not to use it, so I have quite a bit of that. Lots of little scraps here. I don't know that I'll be able to incorporate all of those, but then I do have some bigger pieces here as well. So actually quite a bit of paper left. Sometimes with these kits, especially if you make them exactly as designed, you don't have much left over. So I have all of that. And then one piece of that green, which I should have used for the background, but I didn't. So I would like to incorporate that. So I'm going to start to play around with the pieces that I have, print out some photos, and probably I might need to add in some cardstock, and then we will get going and make a layout out of what I have left. So I decided I wanted to start out with a white base. We'll see what happens from here, but these are 2 sheets of French vanilla cardstock. You guys know I often start with a white base. And then I was looking through to see what I had for a sketch that maybe would work with some of the scraps I have from the Enjoy the Ride kit. And I thought this one might work. This is from the Creative Design Team 12 by 12 Sketchbook, volume number 1. And if you guys haven't heard the news yet, there is a volume number 2 coming this week. So I will leave the link down below and you can go check it out if it's up by the time you're watching this. I had quite a few squares and like strips that I could cut down into squares of the pattern papers left over, so I thought this might be a good design. Plus then I get to use several of the patterns. Now I decided that I want to double matte, and I looked through all my wood grain pattern paper. That is often a next step for me, is to look through my wood grain and see what matches the paper that I'm doing, because it's such a good neutral background but also has some pattern to it. I didn't have 2 sheets of any of the different patterns left over, so I couldn't use pattern paper for these spots, and I just couldn't find a good match of cardstock for my photos. So for my photos, I decided I was going to use these pictures from the creative design team's trip to Vancouver, and this was a cute little tea house that we stopped at in Stanley Park. Now, if you've been watching some of the other girls, then you will have already seen that both Jema and Erin posted a layout with this collection using these pictures, scrapbooking these pictures. And I thought that was a fantastic idea, and I will leave their videos linked down below. My layout is going to be pretty different, but I am using a lot of the same photos. Now you can see I have these matted already. All of these are 3x4. Some of these are vertical and some are landscape. And I gave them a thin white border, and then I used the light side of Bluebird Cardstock. Love that two-tone cardstock to add another matte and hopefully really make these pop. Erin used some Bluebird cardstock on her layout, and I just love the way it made the photos really pop, so I thought I would use that for my photo mats. Now originally I was just going to do this wood grain, but then when I trimmed it down, I trimmed a little bit too much off, and I only have these 2 sheets, and I didn't like how thick that white border was. So I'm using some Limeade cardstock that I cut down. This is about 1/4 inch smaller than the 12x12. And I'm just gonna layer them just so that white isn't too super thick. And you can see I gutted it out because I'm in full on hoarding cardstock mode. So like double layering like this is killing me a little bit. Because now that I know I can't get any more, of course, I wanna hold on to like every sheet that I have. But that is not productive. So we are going to try and use our stash. So our next layer is going to be with French vanilla as well. And this is going to be kind of down at the bottom with even spacing around those 3 sides. I am following the sketch exactly for this layout. And then I'm going to add another piece of French vanilla to this side. So breaking up some of that dark brown. And then come in our little pattern squares. There's some really cute patterns in this set. I love the kind of watercolor look that they have. And I'm just going to try and spread them out so we don't have to like right beside each other. I will, before I stick these down, I will try and get all my spacing somewhat even. The way I like to do it is eyeball it all first and kind of get it as close as I can to being even spacing. And then I'll go down and start adhering them one at a time, making sure to line them up as I go. And that usually works pretty good. Okay, and we're gonna do the same thing over on this side. I'm using the same 3 patterns and just alternating them. And I'm just going to do the same thing, try and evenly space them out. I had to use this floral one because it is my favorite. I've almost used all of that paper that I have, especially because the green paper is the back side of that one, so I'm almost completely out of the floral pattern. I will be able to get at least another layout or even a layout and some cards out of the rest of this paper pack. I thought I would use more, but because I didn't have the full sheets for this background, I didn't end up using as much pattern paper on this spread as I thought I was going to. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down, and then I'll be right back. I went ahead and adhered everything down, and while I was at it, I added my photo mats because I knew I wanted to stick with the same positioning as what was on the sketch. So now comes the embellishing step. So on this side, I have a strip of this checkered pattern here that's going to go across the bottom of my photos, and then I'm going to do a cluster of florals here. I'm going to use that same textured floral set. It just matches this so well. And the inks I'm using are Harbour, Honey Butter, Rosy, Limeade, Jade, and Bluebird. So all of these are colors from the paper collection, and those are the ones I'm using for all my stamping. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some adhesive to this. I don't think I need to tuck anything underneath of it or anything, so I'm just going to go ahead, put that over the bottom of the photo mats, and then just try and center that on my page. And that'll be kind of a landing spot for my embellishments. So I have these that I've cut from Jade cardstock, and I love that the Stampin' Up die sets come with standalone dies like this that cut these really pretty delicate sprigs. And then I have my florals here. So I've stamped leaves in Limeade, Honey Butter flowers, and Rosy and Bluebird, and then I stamped the centers with Harbour. So I want to do kind of like this big flower in the middle, and then maybe tuck this rosy one in down here. Might tilt those leaves a little bit, and then tuck in the yellow one right there. So I kind of want this to stay right in the middle. I'll have to play around with placement as I'm sticking it down. I do want these kind of going straight out to the side like this. I don't want them covering my photos really. And then over on this side, I want to do a cluster of florals along the bottom of those photos. So the sketch had a little banner piece coming out this way with the title, but I have this sticker that says enjoying the little things. And I think that really fits because we'd been walking through Stanley Park, and then we just happened to see this tea house. We decided to stop for a drink. That turned into a whole bunch of appetizers, which basically turned into supper. So we sat out on their lawn in these Adirondack chairs, which were super comfy, ordered a bunch of appetizers, and just ate right there off of our laps. I think maybe the staff thought we were a little bit crazy, but it was really fun. So I thought that was a good title for that. And then I have a bunch of florals and more greenery, little sprigs and things. This is the other one from that set that I really like. I'm going to tuck that under there. And since I have that on that side, I think I probably want to match it with one on that side and put my largest flowers in the center, something like that. We'll see, maybe I'll want a smaller flower there. Just see how that ends up turning out. And then I have some leaves that also go with that set and some more flowers. So I'm just going to play around and see what we can make for like a little floral cluster here. And the yellow I think should be away from that other yellow flower. Maybe put a pink one over there. This rosy is like a cross between pink and red, so I think it could go either way. Now it doesn't really completely match the red in my photos, but I don't think that matters too much. It doesn't really bother me. I think it goes fine with the rosy. I think I might slide these over just a little bit since I have this over here taking up room. I want to have enough. I might need to cut some more flowers. We'll see. Maybe I'll fill in with some leaves. Kind of going for a thicker arrangement in the middle and then kind of have them taper off narrower as it goes out. And maybe I'll put the yellow one over top since I do have a red one over on this side. Maybe I should switch them. Put the red over here and the yellow over there, which means I need to switch these two. Just play musical flowers here. Same thing with as the pattern paper. I'm trying not to put two of the same color right next to each other. Maybe we'll put some leaves in here too to just fill out that corner a little bit more. There, I think that's looking pretty good. Fairly balanced. Now I need something to go up here as well. The sketch did have like a little file tab up there, and I was thinking I should bring in some of this pattern because I don't have it anywhere else on the layout. So I just cut myself like a little like banner strip, and then I have a very small amount of orange in here. So this is from one of the stickers. It's like a border sticker. I'm thinking I can just tuck those in there and then maybe add some flowers as well, or let's see, a leaf and a flower. Now I could also add words, but I don't know if it really needs it. So for my journaling, I'm planning to do strips up here. So I think what I'm going to do is type it out on the computer so that I can get the font fairly small, and then just cut down strips and put them up in that kind of empty spot there. Now I could put something up in that corner, or even coming off this side. Let's see what we have on the sticker sheet. Do have this little file tab. I could bring that in. It would bring in a little bit more of the red. I feel like I also need to add some of that orange because I have it over here and then I have it nowhere else. These are still sticky. I haven't removed the sticky on these, but I'm not putting any pressure on them. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And then I might add, I do have another leaf here, or I have another one of these. What if I rip that there to make it shorter? And then I could have that coming out of there. I want to add a flower. Yeah, I like that. I think that's going to work really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and stick all these things down, and then I'll be right back. I think we are almost there. There's just a couple things that are kind of bothering me that I want to try and see if I can fix. I am thinking I do want something there. So I don't have a lot of phrase stickers left, but I have this one that says breath of fresh air. And I'm thinking I can just wedge it under here. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. And now the only other thing, now I do have journaling, strip journaling that's going to go up here. I just have to sit down and type that up. But this was looking, it's just looking a little bit empty to me. And thankfully I didn't stick my leaves all the way down. So I was thinking maybe I'll just add another one of these like bunches of greenery down here. I did cut one down a little bit shorter when I was just kind of testing this out, because I'm like, I could put it over top, or I could wedge it kind of under here so it looks a little bit more like it was thought of beforehand and not just stuck on afterwards. But I like how that fills this out and makes it a little bit more of a triangle shape. Now I couldn't resist bringing in some of my favorite new embellishments. These are the Iridescent Faceted Gems, and these are gorgeous. Let's see if we can get a really good zoom in there. Aren't those beautiful? So I'm thinking maybe I want to add a little twinkle here and there. They're iridescent, so they go with so many things. We'll see if they show up, because I don't want to waste them if they're not going to like make a difference. If they're too small to like be seen, I don't want to waste them. They'll really show up probably over here a little bit better. Now, if you see any of the Stampin' Up! Products that you would like to add to your cart, oh, I forgot to stick down this flower. And if you're watching this video kind of in real time, the first couple days after I've posted it, then you want to make sure you go and check out whatever's sitting on your wish list, because Tuesday, May 21st, there is free shipping all day just for 24 hours. So make sure you grab the things that you've been eyeing. You might as well get free shipping. That's pretty exciting. You get so used to it with things like Amazon. So I'm pretty excited. I have my own wish list that I'm planning to order. There's so many new things because everything is kind of new to me, right? So I have my own little wish list going of things that I want, and might as well do that when there's free shipping. Okay, there you can kind of see the twinkle up close and personal. That looks really good on the wood grain paper especially. If you enjoyed seeing all these layouts that I made out of this pack of paper, make sure you go check out this video here where I did the same kind of thing and I made layouts and cards all from one pack of paper. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.